Some women go to prison because they messed up. Some because they loved too hard, too blindly. Nia Johnson wasn't the type to run the streets. She wasn't wild. She was careful, steady, the one who kept her mama's house in order while her sister ran the block, the one who worked double shifts to keep the lights on and never once asked for credit. But even good girls have a breaking point, and for Nia, that breaking point had a name: Monty. DeMonte Ford had the kind of charm that made you ignore sirens going off in your own chest. A neighborhood Romeo with fast hands and soft lies. But with Nia, he was different, or so she thought. They started as friends, laughed over dollar fries and late-night rides. By 21, they were inseparable. By 24, she was sitting in a courtroom, taking a charge that didn't have her name on it. Because love makes fools of the best of us. And loyalty? Loyalty will have you walking straight into a fire that somebody else lit. She thought she'd be out in 3 years, maybe 5. But when the gavel dropped, the number was bigger, much bigger. Still, Nia kept the faith. She held on in silence. No tears, no blame. She told herself, he's waiting for me. He loves me. He has to. But 13 years is a long time. Long enough for some people to move on, to build new lives, to rewrite history like you were never part of the story. And when Nia finally stepped out those gates, she didn't just walk into a changed world. She walked straight into a betrayal that had been growing behind her back like mold in a locked room. The kind of betrayal that don't just break your heart, it poisons your soul. She didn't raise her voice, didn't fight, didn't cry. She just remembered. Because some debts don't get collected in court. Some heartbreaks don't scream, they plot. And when Nia moved, she moved quiet, calculated, like someone who had nothing left to lose and nothing left to protect. Stick around, because what happened next? It wasn't loud, it wasn't messy, but it was unforgettable. If you're into true stories that cut deep, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and stay close. This is only the beginning. Charlotte, North Carolina. Not the shiny part with glass buildings and fancy boutiques. The other side, the side with chain-link fences, corner stores with dusty windows, and mothers who pray more than they sleep. That's where Nia Johnson grew up. Oldest of 3, Mama's right hand. The quiet one who always did what she was told, until she didn't. By the time Nia was 8, she could cook a full meal, braid her baby sister's hair, and balance a food stamp card like a pro. Life wasn't soft, but Nia was solid, sharp, sweet, strong. The kind of girl who teachers loved, neighbors trusted, and her mama leaned on like a cane. She stayed out of trouble, not because she was scared, but because she was too busy holding everything together. Then came Monty, DeMonte Ford, better known on the block as just Monty. He had a grin that could melt ice and eyes that said, "You know better." But here we are. He was the kind of man you saw before you heard. Tall, lean, clean-cut, but dangerous. Monty had been in and out of juvie since he was 15, but his voice? Smooth like butter on toast. That boy could talk a nun out her last prayer. Nia met him at a cookout one summer when she was 19. He was leaning against a blue Crown Vic, sipping from a red cup, laughing like life owed him something sweet. They weren't supposed to click, but they did. Quick and easy. Started as jokes, then rides around the city, long talks at 2 a.m. about dreams that felt too big for the block. He was wild. She was calm. And somehow, they found peace in each other. Monty said she made him want more. Said he was tired of ducking cops. Tired of the game. Said, You different. You make me feel like I could be better. And Nia believed him. By 21, they were living together in a one-bedroom apartment with a busted heater and a mattress on the floor. But they were happy, or at least Nia was. She worked days at the clinic. Monty picked up shifts here and there, claiming he was staying clean. He still had friends on the street, still took phone calls that made Nia's stomach twist. But every time she asked, he'd kiss her on the forehead and say, "I got us, baby, trust me." And she did, every single time. Then there was Camira, Nia's baby sister. If Nia was the calm, Camira was the storm. Loud, bold, always dressed like she had somewhere better to be. Where Nia spent her teenage years babysitting and folding clothes, Kamira was sneaking out windows and coming home with glitter still on her cheekbones. They loved each other, yes, but there was always something under the surface, a tension neither of them would admit. Kamira grew up watching Nia do everything right and still struggle. She hated it, resented it, and though she never said it out loud, Kamira wanted what Nia had. Not the chores, not the hard work. The attention, the admiration, the power of being the good one. When Nia brought Monty around, Kamira was intrigued. She laughed too hard at his jokes, asked too many questions, always had some reason to be in the room when he was near. Nia noticed, but brushed it off. She trusted Kamira. She trusted Monty. They were family, and family doesn't cross lines, right? Still, sometimes Nia would catch a look. One of those sideways glances Kamira gave when she thought no one was watching. Monty never said anything, just played it cool. But something about the way he acted around Kamira, too polite, too distant, it made Nia's gut twitch. She told herself she was imagining things, that it was her own insecurities trying to stir up drama. After all, Monty loved her, said it every night, every morning, called her wifey before anyone else did. But still, something in her spirit whispered, "Pay attention." She didn't, because love makes you blind, and loyalty makes you stupid. Nia's world wasn't perfect, but it was hers. A little apartment, a man she loved, a sister she trusted. She had her routine, her dreams, her place in the world. What she didn't know, and what she couldn't see, was that the foundation under her feet was already cracking, and soon everything she built would fall. Charlotte nights were changing. The streets felt heavier. The energy around Monty, even heavier. At 24, Nia started noticing the signs. Monty's late nights became later, his phone calls shorter, conversations thinner. He had new sneakers every other week, came home with crisp bills folded tight in his back pocket, like money that didn't want to be traced. Nia asked him once, just once, "Where's all this coming from, Monty?" He smiled, kissed her forehead. "I've been helping my boy flip cars. Nothing major. Easy money, baby. I got us." She didn't press. She wanted to believe, needed to, because if Monty was lying, then the life she was building had no foundation, and Nia Johnson wasn't the type to build on sand. But some truths come knocking whether you're ready or not. It was just after midnight. Nia was folding laundry, TV humming low in the background. Monty was supposed to be home. She had a feeling, the kind of feeling that starts in your chest and slides down your spine like ice water. Then the knock. Boom, boom, boom. "Police! Open up!" She barely had time to move before the door flew in, like it had been kicked by a freight train. Flashlights, guns, shouting, chaos. They threw her to the floor, face down. She could hear Monty somewhere behind her yelling, his voice cracking, not the usual smooth. They ransacked the apartment like they already knew what they were looking for, and they found it fast. Behind the coats in the back closet, 2 bricks of cocaine. Under the bed, cash, neatly banded, stacked high. On the table, a scale and baggies. Monty was pale, silent, already defeated. And then, just before they separated them, they gave him a moment. Quick, private, no cops in the room. Just him and Nia, her wrists cuffed, heart racing like a war drum. Monty sat across from her like nothing had changed, still wearing that chain, still holding on to charm like it could save him. "Baby, listen. Listen to me," he said, leaning in close. "This ain't what it looks like. I didn't know they was coming. I didn't think it was gonna go down like that." She said nothing. Her face said everything. "Look, they caught you, not me. That means we got a chance. You can fix this for us." Her eyebrows twitched. "You clean, Nia. No record. First offense. They'll go easy on you. 3 years, maybe 5. You hold it down and I'll hold it down out here. I swear on everything I love, I'll be waiting when you get out." He took her cuffed hands in his like it was a vow. "Please, you got the power to save us. Don't let all this fall apart." Nia sat there, still, silent, but inside she was already breaking. She nodded, just once, because love makes you blind. And loyalty Loyalty will have you walking into a fire wearing perfume. The next morning they booked her. Fingerprint ink, mugshot, chain around her waist, cuffs on her ankles like she was dangerous, like she hadn't just sacrificed herself for a man who couldn't even hold her hand in public a day ago. They asked her to talk. She said it all belongs to her, that Monte knew nothing about it, and even cried in front of the officer that she was only trying to make quick cash, because love had rules, and Nia followed them, even now. In court, she stood tall, alone. The prosecutor laid everything out: possession, intent to distribute, conspiracy. Monte, nowhere in sight, no letter, no visit, no word. Camira sat in the back row in sunglasses, legs crossed, lips tight. Her mama cried the whole way through, but the judge didn't flinch. 13 years, Ms. Johnson. Just like that, cold, final, not 3, not 5, 13. When they let her out in shackles, Nia didn't cry. She didn't look back. She'd always been the strong one, the quiet one, the one who carried everything without breaking. But now she was carrying time, years in silence. The cell was 6 feet wide, 2 concrete walls, 1 toilet, 1 bunk. And time, endless, heavy time, that never let up. In the beginning, Nia tried to stay grounded. She kept to herself, ate her food, made her bed, didn't cry the first night, though her chest ached like something had been carved out with a dull spoon. Monty wrote it first. Sweet letters, soft promises. I miss you, girl. I'm holding it down out here. Soon as you come home, we start over. You a queen for this. I'll never forget it. She read those notes like scripture, folding them until the creases wore thin. Every letter she reread at night before lights out. Every word was a thread she held on to keep from unraveling. Camira wrote too, small, sugary notes, almost too cheerful for prison paper. Hang in there, sis. Monty's doing okay. I'm keeping him focused. You'd be proud. At first, Nia smiled. That was her baby sister. Wild, yes, but still family. Still blood. Still hers. Time moved very fast. She learned how to navigate the place, kept her eyes forward, never got too friendly, never got too cold. She was the woman who didn't talk much, but when she did, people listened. She worked in the laundry room, folding sheets, pressing uniforms. Worked in the library later, her favorite place in that whole frozen world. Read everything she could find. Letters to herself. Wrote to God, too. Though some days her faith felt like a dying ember. By the end of year 2, Monty's letters came less often. Shorter, more distracted. Less, I love you. More, I've been busy. Nia told herself it was the stress. Bills. The world outside. By year 3, they stopped completely. Camira's notes still trickled in. Still friendly, still chirpy, but something in the tone, something felt off. Then came year 4. It started like any other day. Breakfast, roll call, library shift. Then a CO tapped her shoulder and handed her a letter. No return address, no name. Just her name in unfamiliar handwriting. She opened it on her bunk. No words, just a photo tucked inside. Monty, in a tuxedo. Camira, in white. Married. Nia blinked. Once, twice, again. Her hands shook. Her breath caught. The picture fell into her lap like a lie that weighed 1,000 pounds. She sat there for a full minute, silent, still. Then she stood up, walked to the phones, called the one cousin she still trusted. Did they really? The cousin didn't even hesitate. Yeah, Nia, they did. Been together a while now. Got a house out in Mint Hill. I was going to tell you, but I didn't know how. Nia hung up and screamed. She screamed until her throat cracked raw, until guards came running, until she punched the phone receiver off the hook and sent it crashing to the floor. They pulled her away, dragged her back to her cell, slammed the door. She sat on the edge of her bunk, arms around herself like they were the only thing she could trust. She didn't cry. Tears. Tears were for people who still had something to lose. The betrayal didn't hit her like a wave. It settled in slow, like smoke in her lungs, like poison in her blood. Monte, her Monte, had not only left her, he'd replaced her with her own sister, the same sister she'd protected growing up, The one she used to sneak snacks to after dinner. The one she carried when she scraped her knee. The one who said, "I got you, sis," in every letter. And when lights went out that night, she didn't sleep. She thought. She remembered. Not just the pain, not just Monty, but everything. The way he begged that night. The way he said, "Do this for us." The way Kamira had looked at him back then. Too long, too soft. The signs she ignored. The way the room smelled during the raid. The way he didn't fight when they cuffed her. The way he never came to court. The way he disappeared before the ink on her sentence had dried. From that night on, Nia changed. Something in her spirit hardened. She still went to work, still made her bed, but she stopped looking for letters, stopped waiting on names to appear on the visitor log. She was done hoping, done hurting, done pretending that love would save her. Because if prison taught her anything, it was this. Some people will let you drown just so they don't have to get wet. She remembers the day she married Monty without telling anyone. Quietly, one Tuesday morning at the courthouse. No rings, no family. Just a shaky signature, a witness, and a kiss that felt more real than anything they'd ever shared. It was her idea. Monty was hesitant, nervous about the paperwork, but Nia wanted to lock in their love, give it something solid, something legal. She thought marriage would protect them. She thought it would make everything stronger. She didn't know she was signing her name on a contract with a man who would leave her before the ink had time to fade. Kamira said she never meant for it to happen. That's what she told herself. That's what she told anyone who asked, that she didn't plan to fall for her sister's man. Didn't mean to be the one he leaned on. But after Nia got sentenced, Kamira started checking on Monty more and more. At first, it was innocent. "You need anything? You holding up okay?" "She's strong, you know that, right?" She'd sit with him on the couch, bring him food. Sometimes they didn't talk, just stared at the wall. Grief has a way of pulling people together like magnets. And Monty, he hated being alone. Kamira filled the silence. Then the silence turned warm. Then warm turned physical. By the end of the first year, she'd slept over 3 nights in a row. By the second year, she'd moved in. Monty filed for divorce from Nia during her 4th year inside. Didn't tell her in person, didn't even send a letter. He had the papers delivered through her counselor. No explanation, no apology. Just boxes checked and lines signed. Nia didn't fight it, she just signed. Quietly. One more piece of herself disappearing without a sound. 2 years after Kamira and Monty got married, they bought a home in Mint Hill. 2 stories, big backyard, porch swing. Monty opened a tire shop just off the highway. Clean name, clean license, clean front. But he still kept a gun in the glove box, just in case. Because Monty might have swapped his hustle for a business, but the streets never really let go. He still walked like someone might be following him, still checked the rearview mirror twice. Kamira, meanwhile, was thriving. Real estate license. Hair always laid, nails sharp. She learned to talk like money, smile like opportunity. People loved her. Clients trusted her. But at night, when the house got quiet and the lights were off, Kamira would sit in the dark with a glass of wine and a 1,000-yard stare. Because guilt doesn't scream, it whispers. All the time. They had 3 kids in 5 years. First a boy, then 2 girls. Photos everywhere. Matching outfits, birthday balloons, baby teeth tucked in envelopes. They avoided Nia's name like it was cursed. Never said it around the kids. When the oldest asked once, "Who's Aunt Nia?" Kamira changed the subject. Monty left the room, but secrets don't stay buried forever, especially not when they were planted in blood. 13 years. That's how long it had been since Nia Johnson felt the sun on her face without a fence in the way. She was 37 now, no longer the girl who went down for love. She stepped out of those prison gates with nothing but a government-issued duffel bag and heart full of quiet fire. No one was there to pick her up. Monty wasn't there. Kamira wasn't there. Even her mama, who would have been the first to wrap her arms around her, wasn't waiting. Mama was gone, had passed 5 years earlier. No visit, no call. No one from the family even bothered to let Nia know until months after the funeral. The only one who still cared was Aunt Vi. Vi was her mama's older sister, tough as nails, always had a headscarf on and a Bible somewhere nearby. She picked Nia up from the halfway house in an old Ford that smelled like menthols and gospel. "You look thin," Vi said, not taking her eyes off the road. "Food ain't been good in there," Nia said, voice flat. They didn't say much more. Didn't need to. Aunt Vi took her in without questions. Gave her the back room, a set of towels, and a warm meal like it was nothing. "You don't owe nobody an explanation, baby. But you do owe yourself peace." Nia nodded. That was the only promise she was willing to make. She got a job 2 weeks later, cleaning office buildings downtown after hours. Mop bucket, gloves, disinfectant spray. Quiet work, simple work. She moved slow those first few weeks. Didn't talk much. Didn't ask about Monty or Camira. Didn't need to. The silence told her everything. One night after dinner, Aunt Vi sat across from her with a plate of cornbread and a look on her face. "You know they married now," she said. Nia looked down at her tea. "I know. 3 kids. Big house out in Mint Hill. He got a tire shop now. She's doing real estate." You mad?" "I ain't got the energy to be mad," Nia said. "I just remember." Aunt Vi stared at her, like she was trying to read her soul. "You sure?" "I'm sure." But she wasn't. She wasn't sure if she was mad. She wasn't sure if she was calm. All she knew was that something inside her had shifted. It wasn't fire, not yet, but it was smoke, and smoke always means something's burning. 2 days later, Nia saw Camira. She was downtown on her break, sipping water on the steps of an old law office. Stepping out of a white SUV in heels too high and a dress too tight, laughing into her phone, hair done, face beat, gold hoops catching the sunlight. For a moment, Nia didn't breathe. She stood there frozen, watching her little sister float past like she didn't leave wreckage behind. Camira didn't see her. Nia followed her, quiet, careful. She didn't even know why. She just moved. Camira pulled into a cul-de-sac lined with trimmed lawns and fresh paint. House number 218, 2-car garage, blue shutters, porch swing. Nia stopped at the corner, just watching. A little girl ran out the front door, barefoot, laughing, holding one of the cupcakes. Then another child behind her. Then Monte, still tall, still smooth, same walk, same swagger. Only now he had a gold watch and a receding hairline. He smiled, kissed Camira on the cheek like it was normal, like he hadn't once promised forever to the woman standing in the shadows. Camira leaned into him, her hand on his chest like she owned him. And then she turned, walked back toward the bus stop. Didn't cry, didn't shake, just remembered. Every promise, every letter, every lie. The next day, she didn't go to work. She cleaned the kitchen, swept the porch, and made sweet tea for Aunt Vi like nothing had changed. But inside, something had clicked into place. Because now she had seen it with her own eyes. Not a rumor, not a photo. Real. Monty's new life. Camira's victory. And Nia? Nia was the ghost they never expected to see again. Monty forgot. He forgot there are some people you don't cross. Some debts you can't outrun. 15 years back, long before the wedding rings and tire shop, before the smiling family portraits and Camira's business cards, Monty had burned someone. Lamar Big Reese Talley, East Side heavy. A man who moved quiet, but when he struck, people felt it for years. Back in the day, Monty ran with Reese's crew. Not officially, but close enough. He handled drops, collected payments, skimmed a little off the top, figured no one would notice. But Reese noticed, always did. Monty disappeared right before things got hot, left town for a few weeks. Then Reese got hit with a weapons charge and went away. Word on the street was, Monty tipped the scales just enough to stay free. Reese never forgot that, and neither did Nia. She never said a word to anyone, not even Aunt Vi. She just made a call one night, calm, software, like she was ordering groceries. She used a burner phone, used the name Kia, used the kind of language you only learn when you've spent time around men who don't forgive. He's back, got money now, a family, tires, real estate, clean on paper, but you know better. Pause. If you're still looking for him, she didn't say Monty's name, Didn't have to. The line went quiet. Then the voice on the other end gave a low hum. Appreciate it. Click. 2 weeks later, on a Thursday morning, Monty was opening his shop just like always. Coffee in one hand, keys in the other. He didn't see it coming. 6 shots, 2 to the chest, 2 to the stomach, 1 to the shoulder, 1 clean through the face. East Side signature, quick, quiet, precise. By the time the ambulance got there, Monte was already gone, laid out on the pavement in front of his own name. Police said it looked like a robbery, maybe gang-related, maybe business gone bad. They had no leads, no witnesses, no suspects, just another man with a past who finally ran out of luck. Kamira screamed at the funeral, screamed like her chest was caving in. She clutched her babies like they were all she had left, collapsed next to the casket in a black dress and shaking hands. People cried. Preacher spoke. But at the very back of the church, sitting alone in the last pew, was Nia, black shades on, hair pulled back, still, unmoving. She didn't cry, didn't blink, didn't shift once during the service. She just sat there like a shadow that had finally caught up to the light. No one noticed her. No one dared look long enough. After the burial, Nia left. Quiet, no goodbyes. Monty had taken her freedom, Kamira had taken her trust. But Nia had taken something too. And in her own way, she finally felt free. Nia left town the next morning. No tears, no goodbyes, no trace. She caught a Greyhound to Atlanta with a duffel bag and a new name stitched into her ID. No one asked questions. She didn't offer answers. Now she lives in a small apartment on the quiet side of the city. No photos on the walls, just books, plants, jazz humming low from an old speaker in the kitchen. She keeps to herself, pays in cash, sleeps with the windows cracked just enough to feel the air move. She's not angry, not bitter. She's done. Some debts, she says, don't get paid in court. They get paid in blood. If you were Nia, would you have held your peace or made that call? Drop your thoughts below. And if you love stories that go where forgiveness won't, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay with us. Because the next story might just be darker than this one.